Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
In the whispering winds of Anera, the sky transformed into a canvas of vibrant colors each dusk, casting shimmering hues across the landscapes. Towering trees, with trunks as wide as a man's embrace, danced gently with the breeze, their leaves glistening like emeralds in the fading sunlight. Anera was a realm of extraordinary beauty, where its diverse inhabitants thrived under the warm embrace of a multicolored sun. Among the bustling markets and crowded streets of Starhaven, the main city of Anera, lived a petite alien named Zephyrah. Standing at just 4 feet tall, she often felt like a leaf lost in a storm amidst the towering figures of her fellow Anerans. With skin the shade of twilight and swirling patterns upon her arms that shimmered when she felt strong emotions, Zephyrah had a heart that beat louder than her stature suggested. However, within the plethora of unique charms she possessed, self-doubt often shadowed her spirit. Every day, Zephyrah worked in a quaint little shop tucked away in an artisan district where intergalactic trinkets dazzled the eyes of curious visitors. The shop, Celestial Charms, was adorned with items from far-off planets, each telling stories of adventure and love. Customers from various species would enter, drawn not only by the items, but also by Zephyrah's warm smile and gentle nature. Nonetheless, as she helped with transactions and listened to tales from around the universe, an aching longing swelled within her. She watched lovers of all shapes and sizes swirl around her, their closeness a reminder of all she yearned for, a connection that resonated beyond appearances. Zephyrah had grown used to her stature being the subject of gossip among the taller beings. The playful teasing and sideways glances had worn thin, embedding a seed of belief that she was too small for love. She often found solace in her best friend, Lyra, a lively thug-like alien with spiky hair and an audacious laugh that echoed off the walls. Lyra's boisterous charm and fierce loyalty provided a comforting distraction from her insecurities. Why waste your time wishing you were different when you're already amazing? Lyra would often say, her confidence shining brighter than the twin moons overhead. Yet, the words would leave Zephyrah pondering late into the night, the soft sounds of her world lulling her into dreams where she was not just seen, but beloved. As the festival celebrating intergalactic friendships approached, the buzz of excitement filled the air. Bright banners adorned the streets, and merchants prepared their stalls, showcasing vibrant wares. Zephyrah's heart danced with anticipation, yet a sliver of anxiety crept in. Festivals were the busiest times, and the crowds often reminded her of her differences. One evening, as the sun began its descent, painting the horizon with fiery oranges and soft pinks, Zephyrah was busy arranging trinkets adorned with starlight in her shop. Her mind drifted, contemplating whether she should even attend the festival or stay hidden in the comfort of her sanctuary, the shop she loved. "Come on, Zephyrah. No hiding this time." Lyra's exuberant voice broke through her thoughts, beckoning her to join the festivities. "You'll have fun, I promise. Besides, what's the worst that can happen?" With a hesitant smile, Zephyrah nodded, realizing that perhaps tonight might just be the night for change, a chance to step out of the shadows and greet the world with her heart wide open. The night of the festival arrived, transforming Starhaven into a kaleidoscope of lights, sounds, and laughter. The air was thick with the scent of exotic foods sizzling on grills and the alluring aroma of sweet delicacies that called out to every passerby. Zephyrah felt a mix of excitement and anxiety as she stepped into the thrumming heart of the crowd, her heart racing with each beat. Dressed in a flowing gown crafted from iridescent fabric that seemed to change colors with every movement, Zephyrah felt a touch more confident. Lyra stood beside her, wearing an outfit adorned with spikes and leather that radiated her fiery personality. They navigated the sea of colorful beings, both familiar and new, mingling as they made their way to the main square where the festival's centerpiece awaited. "Look at that!" Lyra pointed, her eyes wide. "The galactic dancers are about to perform. They're mesmerizing." Zephyrah watched as tall, live dancers adorned in glimmering costumes took to the stage, captivating the audience with their fluid movements. She admired their beauty, but felt the familiar pang of insecurity strike her heart again. Would she ever feel that same grace? Would someone ever see her and think she was captivating? While engrossed in thought, they halted in their march. A group of taller Anarans passed by, laughing loudly while they pointed at a booth full of costume accessories, their words cutting through Zephyr's thoughts. "Look at that tiny one. What would she even wear?" One of them teased, laughter spilling from their lips. The heat of cheeks colored Zephyr's skin as she fought the urge to retreat, the sting of rejection creeping in once more. Lyra, sensing her discomfort, stepped forward. "Hey, why don't you back off? Size doesn't dictate a person's worth." The other aliens briefly paused, taken aback by Lyra's confident tone, but then they chuckled again, turning away. Zephyr felt a blend of gratitude for Lyra's defense and the familiar abyss of embarrassment deepen. "Thanks, Lyra, but it's pointless. People will think what they want." She sighed quietly, shaking her head. "Not tonight, Zephyr. This festival is a celebration of who we are, our differences, our stories. You're beautiful inside and out." Lyra's determination sparked something within Zephyr, nudging her towards a wave of empowerment. They continued to weave through the vibrant crowd until they stumbled upon a booth displaying exquisite crafts from various planets. Glimmering trinkets sparkled under the ethereal lights, but to Zephyr, nothing compared to the heart of the festival, the connection between beings, the sharing of laughter and stories. In that moment, her eyes were drawn to a shimmering artifact resembling a star, radiant and striking. "Lyra, look at this!" she exclaimed, pointing with an enthusiasm that momentarily eclipsed her insecurities. "Wow, it's stunning," Lyra replied, admiring the artifact. "Just like you." As they exchanged stories with the vendor, Zephyr felt a growing sense of belonging. But it wasn't until the festival reached its peak that she would encounter someone who would change everything. In the distance, loud laughter echoed, drawing attention to a gathering of off-world visitors. Intrigued, Zephyr and Lyra decided to drift closer, discovering a troop of humans sharing tales and laughter. Among the humans was Jake, tall, with an infectious smile and sparkling eyes that held a sense of adventure and warmth that felt welcoming. The moment their eyes met, Zephyr felt a strange jolt of energy, a flickering connection. Jake was different. There was no judgment in his gaze, only genuine curiosity. He was speaking animatedly, gesturing toward a celestial map sprawled on a nearby table coated in star dust. "Did you know the night sky is different all around the galaxy?" he explained. "Every species has its own constellations, its own stories. We humans love to gaze at the stars, dreaming of worlds beyond ours." Zephyr was enthralled, unable to tear her gaze away. The excitement in his voice ignited a spark of interest within her. "I've always loved the stories behind the stars," she called out, surprising herself with her boldness. Jake turned his attention toward her, intrigued. "Really? Which ones? Tell me." As they began to engage in a lively conversation about constellations, Zephyr felt the weight of her insecurities lift, as if the universe had conspired to align their fates. She spoke passionately about the tales of her people, sharing stories of bravery, love, and unity hidden among the stars. "I never thought I'd meet someone who loves it as much as I do," Jake said, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "You should tell me more about Anara's constellations. Maybe I can find them in the stars tonight." In an attempt to conceal her elation, Zephyr laughed softly, but the delight coursing through her veins surged freely. They shared stories late into the night, lost in the joy of connection, all while a beautiful bond began to blossom beneath the bright stars illuminating the festival. As the stars twinkled overhead, the festival thrummed with energy, laughter, and the melodies of various cultures melting together. Zephyr and Jake stood side by side, sharing their tales, seemingly oblivious to the bustling crowd around them. The magic of genuine connection enveloped them, transforming the noise into a soft backdrop that only served to enhance their budding relationship. After exchanging stories about their cultures, Zephyr felt emboldened, her spirit alight with a sense of belonging she had longed for. "And that's how my people believe the constellation of Valoran came to be," she finished animatedly, her eyes shining with excitement. Jake grinned, clearly captivated. That's incredible. In the human world, we have our own legends, of course, but the stories of the stars are universal. They connect us, don't you think? His gaze held admiration, making her feel as if she were more than just a petite alien. With laughter still lingering in the air, Zephyra felt a flutter of something new, a warmth blossoming in her heart for this charming human. He was everything she dreamt of and more. Yet, as they stood in that moment of connection, a group of taller alien onlookers caught sight of them, their laughter echoing once again. "Look, that little one thinks she can charm a human," one of them scoffed, their voice dripping with disdain. Zephyra felt the flush rush to her cheeks, an all too familiar wave of humiliation crashing down on her. Behind her, Lyra's protective instincts flared. "Let her be. She's more captivating than you'll ever be," she shouted, standing tall and defiant against the jeers. Jake, however, seemed unfazed by the jeers. He turned his full attention to Zephyra, concern clouding his bright gaze. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. The question lingered in the air, and Zephyra struggled to summon a smile in response, her heart conflicting. "I will be," she murmured, still feeling the sting of being mocked for her stature. But in that moment, Jake's presence calmed her inner turmoil, a reassurance she had never expected to find. "Hey, I don't care what they think," he said earnestly. "I'm enjoying our time, and you're fascinating." His kind words wrapped around her like a warm embrace, igniting a spark of bravery within her. "Thank you," she replied, her voice steadying. "It means a lot to me." Regaining their footing, they returned to the festivities, choosing to seize the moment instead of allowing negativity to drown out their connection. The human and the alien continued their conversation, laughter twinkling like stars between them, as if they were weaving a tapestry of friendship that transcended differences. Yet, as the celebrations continued, they were soon swept into a dance of colorful lights and jubilant festivities. Jake took her hand, leading her toward the dance floor, his grip warm and inviting. Zephyra hesitated, her shyness trying to pull her back, but the sparkle in his eyes urged her to step into the unknown. As they began to sway with the music, an unexpected sense of freedom washed over her. Being embraced by the rhythm, she found herself losing track of time, her worries fading under the infusion of joy. With each step, she felt her size become insignificant, all barriers dissolving in the presence of Jake's genuine warmth. The beat pulsed around them, and as he spun her, their laughter echoed in symphony with the melody. For the first time, Zephyra felt seen, not for her size, but for her spirit, her laughter, her heart. Suddenly, the music shifted to a slower tempo, and Jake leaned closer, their faces mere inches apart. "You have such a big heart, Zephyra," he whispered, his voice a gentle caress in the evening air. "I didn't expect to meet someone like you tonight." The sincerity in his statement sent her heart racing, causing her to hold her breath. Never had anyone looked past her size so effortlessly. It was as if he could see the depths of her spirit. The world around them faded, leaving only the intensity of their connection, the melody of their hearts intertwining. Yet, as the spell of the moment enveloped them, reality reintroduced itself. The urgency of her insecurity clawed its way back to the forefront. "But I'm so small," she finally managed to voice, her eyes darting toward the dancing crowd, where others swirled in dazzling couples. "What if I'm not enough?" "Enough?" Jake's brows furrowed, and he shook his head slowly, as if trying to comprehend her internal struggle. "Size doesn't equate to worth, Zephyra. Your heart, your stories, those are what matter." His words grasped her, igniting a flicker of resolve deep within. Yet just as they shared another moment of connection, the laughter and jeers from earlier pierced through the romance, gnawing at the edges of her hope. She could feel insecurity creeping back in, threatening to unravel the joy they had shared. The moment shattered by the lingering doubt, Zephyra withdrew slightly, uncertainty pulling at her heartstrings. I need to think," she stammered, stepping back reluctantly. Before Jake could respond, she turned, weaving through the crowd, the brightness of the festival morphing into a blur as she sought refuge. Her heart ached, the weight of feeling diminutive crashing over her once again as she tried to dispel the remnants of the harsh taunts lingering in the air. As she found solace in a quieter corner, she pressed her hands against her chest, seeking to steady her heart. How could she be so close to something wonderful, yet so torn by fear? Would she ruin whatever connection had begun to blossom? In the quiet corner of the festival, Zephyra took a moment to collect her thoughts. The soft music and distant laughter faded into a dim hummed background, allowing her heart to echo in the silence. She needed to navigate the feelings swirling within her: excitement, fear, vulnerability. Would she really allow herself to embrace this new chapter? As she leaned against the cool stone wall, her mind replayed Jake's words. Your heart, your stories, those are what matter. But the chatter from the crowd, the laughter she adored so much, echoed a different message, one she had internalized over the years. To many, size defined worth. With a sigh, she pulled out a small trinket from her pocket, a delicate pendant that she had crafted, resembling a miniature star. It was a token of her passion, her artistry, hidden beneath her own insecurities. She gazed at it, the shimmering surface reflecting the twinkling lights of the festival, reminding her of the beauty she could create despite her size. As if sensing her inner turmoil, Lyra emerged from the shadows, her fierce eyes softened with understanding. Hey, I saw you slip away. I figured you might need some time, she said gently, leaning against the wall beside her. What's going on? Zephyra sighed, feeling the lump of emotion rise again. I thought I could overcome the fear tonight, but I don't know. I feel like I'm too small to matter in a world so big, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper, the weight of her confession heavy in the air. Lyra placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. You're not too small, Zephyra. You're just right. You can't let anyone's ignorance dictate your worth. Trust me, they're missing out on someone truly special. Tears brimmed in Zephyra's eyes, touched by Lyra's unwavering support. I want to believe that. But she glanced back toward the lively festival, the bright faces feeling ever so distant as she struggled against the shackles of self-doubt. Listen, Lyra began, her voice low and serious. I think you need to go back out there. Find Jake. He really believes in you, and he sees you. Don't let this darkness take away the light you've been building. Zephyra took a deep breath, the truth of Lyra's words resonating within her. She felt an urge to reclaim what she had almost lost, the spark of connection she had with Jake, the joy of discovery beyond her fears. You're right. I shouldn't let my insecurities keep me from this moment, she affirmed, wiping away her tears with newfound resolve. Together they rejoined the festivities, the vibrant colors welcoming her as if the festival itself had been waiting for her return. Laughter erupted around them, merging with the harmonious melodies filling the air. Zephyra felt a mix of trepidation and excitement coursing through her veins. She had to find Jake. After searching through the lively crowd, her gaze landed on a familiar form. There he was. Jake was surrounded by a small gathering, animatedly sharing a tale that drew laughter and intrigue from his audience. The sight of him sent a rush of warmth through her, igniting the spark she had been searching for. With Lyra's encouragement echoing in her mind, she stepped forward, heart pounding. Jake, she called out, her voice carrying over the merriment, wrapping around him like a lighthouse beacon. He turned, his eyes widening in surprise and delight. Zephyra, he exclaimed, breaking away from the gathering, his face lighting up. I was hoping to find you. As their eyes locked, the world around them blurred once more, as if the universe had conspired to create an intimate bubble. I'm sorry if I disappeared. I just needed a moment to gather my thoughts, she admitted, breathless. Jake stepped closer, his smile warm and inviting. I'm glad you came back. I enjoyed every moment we shared earlier, and I'd love to hear more about your stories. Would you, if you're comfortable, care to dance again? The question sparked a rush of giddiness, a bright smile emerging on her lips. I would love to, she replied, her heart soaring as she took his hand, intertwining their fingers. The music beckoned them back to the dance floor, and as they swayed together, Zephyra felt herself sinking into the moment. With every gentle sway, she found herself entranced by Jake's energy. He moved effortlessly, his tall frame creating a sense of safety around her. "See, you're perfect just as you are," he whispered, leaning closer, the sincerity in his voice wrapping around her heart like a warm blanket. In that moment, she reveled in the joy of being seen. But then the laughter erupted from behind them once more, mocking, lingering, painful. The same group from earlier had returned, their words cutting through the atmosphere. "Look at that! A tiny alien trying to dance with a human. How absurd!" Just as quickly as her confidence swelled, it began to wane. Zephyra felt her smile falter, the laughter weighing heavily on her heart. But Jake tightened his grip, drawing her closer. "Ignore them, Zephyra. They don't matter," he said firmly, a protective energy radiating from him. "It's just us. Remember what you told me. You're beautiful just as you are." Taking a deep breath, Zephyra focused her gaze on him, finding strength in his presence. "They're wrong. I know that now," she whispered, her voice laced with determination. "I'm more than my size. I'm capable of so much more." As they shared a dance beneath the swirling lights, an unbreakable connection forged through kindness, understanding, and hope blossomed between them, lighting the way through the doubts that had shackled Zephyra for so long. With every turn and movement, she felt the chains of her insecurities slowly breaking, realizing her size was not a limitation but a facet of her unique beauty. As the music enveloped them, Zephyra's heart soared, surrounded by raucous laughter and joyous celebration. Dancing with Jake ignited new passion within her. With every turn, she felt alive, letting go of the insecurities that had plagued her for so long. His warm gaze anchored her in the moment, allowing her to rediscover the joy of being exactly who she was. Amidst the pulsating rhythms and flashing lights, she momentarily forgot the mocking voices from earlier, focusing solely on Jake. He guided her with grace, moving to the music as though they had danced together in countless lifetimes. A powerful connection surged between them, lifting her spirit higher and higher until she felt as if she could reach for the stars themselves. "See, you shine out here," Jake exclaimed, delight in his voice, watching her experience unfold. "You're not just a pretty face, you're a force of nature." The warmth of his encouragement flowed through her, and she caught herself beaming back at him. "Thank you," she whispered, a genuine smile illuminating her features. "You've helped me more than you know." Just when the atmosphere felt most electric, and she thought that nothing could hinder their connection, a sudden hush fell upon the crowd. The laughter, the music, the essence of the festival became muted as everyone turned to witness what was happening. Intrigued, Zephyra sought the source of the disruption. Her breath caught in her throat as she saw the same group of taller Anarans marching toward them. Their leader, a towering being with a gleaming crown, holding an unmistakable air of authority. The group had a demeaning look etched onto their faces. "Hey, look! The tiny alien still thinks she can dance with a human," the leader shouted, the condescending tone slicing through the warmth of the festival. The crowd's laughter returned, echoing through her very bones, a stark reminder of her insecurities. Zephyra felt the joy she had cultivated start to evaporate like mist in sunlight. In that moment, she felt small again, small, insignificant, and foolish to believe she could be loved. But something ignited within Jake, confidence that defied the ridicule. "Back off," he declared, stepping closer to Zephyra, as though shielding her from the sting of their mockery. "She's more formidable than any of you realize." The unexpected support sent a powerful wave of warmth through her, startling Zephyra as she looked up at Jake, brimming with pride. "Don't let them get to you," he continued, addressing both her and the crowd. "You don't know the first thing about who she is." Lyra joined Jake's side, her stance fierce and determined. "Exactly. Zephyra has a heart that shines brighter than any of your narrow minds. She deserves respect and admiration for who she truly is." She had always known Lyra had fierce loyalty, but in the chaotic swirl of laughter and disdain, hearing her voice resonated with a different strength, a reminder of the power of friendship. This was the moment for the emotions she had suppressed for so long to break free. Fueled by determination, Zephyra stepped forward, fortifying herself against the jeering crowd. "Listen," she said, her voice trembling initially, but gradually finding strength. "I may be small, but my heart is capable of so much. I create art, I share stories, I connect with others. Size doesn't determine my worth." Her words hung in the air, the vulnerability woven with defiance. The crowd seemed momentarily stunned, caught off guard by her bravery. A few murmurs traveled through the group, uncertainty seeping into their laughter. Jake's expression was a mirror of pride, his eyes shining brightly. "Exactly. Love, kindness, creativity. Those are not defined by how tall or short one is. They're defined by the goodness in our hearts." The atmosphere shifted as the crowd began to process the power behind their words, the essence of the message striking a chord. Zephyra had courage, and she was standing tall, figuratively at least. In that pivotal moment, the weight of her self-doubt began to lift. "You think you're better than us?" The leader scoffed in retaliation, attempting to regain control through mockery. "Look at you, pretending to be important." But one of the bystanders stepped forward, breaking the cycle of ridicule. "No, you're wrong. We're all equal here. Size doesn't measure love, and it certainly doesn't measure strength." A ripple of agreement spread through the crowd, breaking the illusion of superiority held by the taller beings. The atmosphere transformed, blossoming into a newfound understanding, weighing down the members who had sought supremacy through mockery. A round of applause erupted, beginning with Jake, and resonating throughout the onlookers. Zephyra felt the vibrant energy surge as reassurance enveloped her, her heart engaging in a dance of delight. Standing alongside her friends, in the warmth of acceptance, Zephyra turned back to Jake, tears of gratitude shining in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, feeling the magic of a moment that transcended size, judgment, or limitations. Jake met her gaze, his usual bright smile transformed into one of sincerity. "You were incredible out there, Zephyra. You have a heart that's truly remarkable." In that instant, everything clicked into place. She was more than her stature. She was a being of light, creativity, and love, capable of inspiring those around her, someone worth celebrating. As the festival continued to pulse around them, Zephyra took a deep, steadying breath, ready now to embrace whatever came next. With her friends by her side, and the warmth of connection lighting her path, she felt unstoppable. The festival resumed its vibrant rhythm, the earlier tension dissolving into laughter and excitement. As Zephyra stood at the center of a small circle made up of her friends and onlookers alike, she felt a transformation take place within her. No longer did she feel the weight of judgment bearing down. She was free to simply be Zephyra. Jake stepped by her side, his presence reassuring as he clasped her hand. "That was amazing. You were so brave, standing up for yourself like that." He grinned, pride evident in his eyes. "Thank you, Jake. I felt powerful," she replied, a smile gracing her lips as the words rolled off her tongue. "It was scary, but I realized that I deserved to be heard, just like everyone else." They began to merge back into the festival, the vibrant atmosphere drawing them in. Music swirled around them, and with no hesitation, they joined in the lively dances alongside the colorful crowd. Zephyra felt a newfound freedom in her movements, exploring twirls and spins that mirrored the joy of connection that filled her heart. Lyra, sensing the shift in the air, cheered them on, her voice ringing out above the festivities. "That's right. Dance like nobody is watching. Love like it's the only thing that matters." The energy around them was intoxicating, fueled by the acceptance that permeated the crowd. More people began to engage, sharing their own stories, laughing, and connecting, reminding her of the beauty of celebration and diversity, no matter how small or large. As the night wore on, someone suggested sharing a collective wish upon the stars. Everyone gathered in a wide open space, their faces turned up toward the bright string of constellations that populated the sky. In this moment, Zephyra felt a well of gratitude swell within her. Here, under the stars, surrounded by acceptance and support, She understood that every moment was an opportunity for connection. "Let's make our wishes," Lyra exclaimed, and everyone closed their eyes, raising their hands toward the heavens. Zephyra followed suit, taking a deep breath. She wished for love, connection, and a world where size wouldn't dictate worth. She wished that others could find the courage to express their unique beauty. As the crowd erupted into cheers, she opened her eyes to see Jake gazing at her. "What did you wish for?" he asked, his tone playful yet earnest. "I can't tell you," she teased with a smile, her heart alight with excitement. "Otherwise, it won't come true." Jake laughed, the sound like sunlight breaking through the clouds. Their playful exchange wrapped around them like a fresh embrace as the festival reached its climax. Together, they joined hands, their hearts resonating through the night, feeling truly united in that beautiful celebration. As the night wore on and the stars twinkled in the vast tapestry above, Zephyra felt an overwhelming sense of belonging. The festival had transformed into a celebration of acceptance, love, and the power of individuality. Influenced by the courage she had found within herself, she sensed a profound shift in those around her. Hand in hand, she and Jake danced together beneath the celestial glow, their bodies swaying with the beat of the music harmonizing around them. Every twirl felt like a declaration, a celebration of who she was beyond her size. The initial whispers of doubt that had haunted her began to fade, replaced with a profound understanding that her worth was defined by her heart, not her height. As the festival reached its grand finale, filled with vibrant colors and fireworks painting the sky, Zephyra turned to Jake, the warmth of his gaze grounding her. "Thank you, Jake, for believing in me," she said, her heart swelling with gratitude. He paused, capturing her hand. "You've inspired me more than you know. You taught me that true strength lies in embracing who we are and standing up for what matters." With the last bursts of luminous fireworks illuminating the sky, the crowd erupted in applause and cheers, creating a crescendo of joy. In that moment, they truly celebrated not just the beauty of Anera and its people, but also the magic that happens when hearts connect. And so, under the brilliance of the stars, Zephyra made a silent promise to herself, to embrace her journey, to inspire others to seek connections that surpass superficial boundaries, and to always see the vastness of love that lies within them all. With Jake by her side, she stepped into a new chapter, filled with hope and endless possibilities. Together, they would explore not only the beauty of the universe, but also the boundless love that could flourish amidst the stars.